In the previous video I gave you a introduction and a kind of review of the entire book. It's really beautiful, and now I would like to show you one game played by Spassky in round 1. By the way, the book is in Spanish. Maybe I forgot to say that in the other video, but for me it's not really a big problem, because honestly my language it's very near to Spanish, so for reading most of the things are the same. It's not difficult. Maybe I have difficulties to understand when someone speaks very fast, but reading a book is different, it's generally easier. However, one thing that I was taught by the teenagers today is the fact that you know, now there is an app called Lens on the phone, and if you aim that app to a paragraph of the book, it will translate that paragraph, so it's very, very easy. However, there is also another thing. In the past, chess players were the true polyglot of the planet, were the guys that were speaking many languages, because they were going around all over the world. And so I remember Fischer, who learned Russian to understand what they wrote in their magazines, and so he was able to speak Russian and probably also some other languages, because again, going around all over the world, you needed to be able to speak the language of the place where you were. And so I think we should keep that kind of tradition alive also today. If you are a chess player, you should be able to understand a little other languages, because that will open your mind and make you, like in this case, have this kind of beautiful masterpiece. Because this book, it's really a kind of masterpiece. I really like it. And imagine, from what I read, there were only 500 copies printed, so I'm really lucky that I have one. Okay, so the fourth game that I want to show you, it's Martinez Bultrago Fernando against Spassky Boris Vasilyevich. And here it says, Dr. Mas'ev, president of the FIDE, a former world champion, made the fourth move in this game. Fernando Martinez remembered that Spassky made a comment that was worried if he had to play against Ov. And of course, 5 decades later, Martinez told us, well, I didn't know if to cry or laugh, but in any case it was a real honor to play against the world champion. Here in the introduction says also, by move 21 Spassky got an advantage, and 10 moves later he was winning. So that's a kind of fast game, let's say. Martinez plays e4, Spassky plays e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop e4, knight f6, castle, and bishop e7, rook e1, b5, bishop b3, and d6, c3, castle, h3, knight b8, and d4. This is also a very interesting thing, because probably all the games have been annotated by Grandmaster Zapata. He says the theory of that time suggested as an interesting alternative d3. And so this was played by Brown against Spassky 4 rounds later. So as you can see, you also get a kind of historical perspective in this book, because Zapata has been a chess professional for 30 years or more, and so obviously he remembers what they were playing in that time, and so that's why I find it kind of interesting. So after d4, knight b d7, knight b d2, bishop b7. This is the thing that is also interesting. Obviously the game, the notation is algebraic, but with a figurine. So with the figurine you don't have problems to read the book, also if you are not speaking Spanish, right? Bishop c2, rook e8. What I think they should have done it, yes, they should have done it in English, because this beautiful book deserves to be published in English, in my opinion, because they really did a great job, and so I hope that they will have a financial reward for this great job, because again, it's really beautiful. You should touch it. It's amazing. Knight f1, bishop f8, knight g3, g6. Obviously g6 is to avoid that white takes the outpost on f5, right? Okay, and of course I am not reading you all the comments, but as you can see, it's deeply annotated, so it's really great. Also this b3, bishop g7, d5, knight b6, bishop e3, rook c8, queen d2, and now there is c6, obviously rook c8, and the bishop on b7, they want to attack the center, right? And here there is an interesting part, d takes c8, sorry, d takes c6. How do you take with black? Spassky took with a rook, and this start to give a slightly advantage to black. Rook ac1, queen c7, as you can see, is starting to piling up on the c file. Bishop b1, d5, breaking the center. As we can see, why when rook takes c6 there is the symbol of a slight advantage for black, because as you can see, black is active, black is attacking, white is not doing anything, it's just trying to stop. And in fact, yeah, in the book it says, with this move Spassky took the initiative. So you can see it, right? On some things it's clear what happens. And of course here white played this, but also this doesn't really work. If you will get the book, you will see the entire notation and comments of that move. D takes e4, knight takes e4, and here there is knight f d5, and this is probably the move that decides the game at this point. Now white he should have played probably bishop d3 and try to keep the position. Instead he played bishop h6, after which there is rook c8, but probably black should have played f5, that was stronger. And again here white make a big mistake. He plays rook e d1. So eventually try to pause the video and see what would you play if you were black in this position. Once more you see that black is going to gain everything, space, attack, initiative, and so on. So what did black play? Black played f5, and this already gives a decisive advantage to black. How did white continue? Bishop takes g7. Here you can decide how would you take back, because probably you also want to know that. Obviously you have to take back with a queen, and now there is knight e g5, and the knight takes c3. Now white has an idea, but it doesn't work out. He plays queen d8, check. And unfortunately it doesn't work out because queen f8. It's the refutation of white's idea. Queen takes f8, rook takes f8, and now we see what white does, which is knight takes e5, but then there is knight e2, check. King f1, and here there is rook takes c1, okay, winning the game. And nothing. I hope you enjoyed this game from this beautiful book. Eventually try to get it till there are copies, because you know what I discovered, that some things disappear and they are really beautiful and we really miss them. I remember I missed to order a book about an Olympiad from 1939, and I still regret it now. Sometimes you have to order it right away to avoid that you lose that chance. Here the back of the cover, if you want to see it, it's beautiful, and as you can see it's really well annotated with all the games, and of course the tables for each round. Really a great work of art, not only of annotation. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.